Hi, I'm Tim Wise and welcome to this smoothie demonstration, this green smoothie demonstration. Today we're going to teach you how to make a green smoothie. To start with, what we need is the best quality greens we can find. These ones have actually been taken from my garden, but any organic produce will do. If you can't find organic, then just wash your veggies well. So we start with a bit of kale. There's a couple of varieties of kale. I've got two here, and we simply just stuff them into the blender like so. It's best to have a high-powered blender. I've got a Vitamix here. It's got about 1.5 horsepower, and this makes the cellulose structure of the greens easy to break down. Some lesser blenders, it might be difficult. We put a bit of silver beet in, again from my garden, and then also some spinach. Now, the thing about green smoothies is they're very beneficial, because what happens is you can not only eat a larger quantity of greens when they're blended, they're easier to digest and you get more nutrients from them. There's more surface area that interacts with the body and the blood in order to take on those nutrients. When we're making a green smoothie, we can make it to lots of different flavours. Now, I've got some fruit here. I'm making this one for my kids, so I'm going to be making it a bit sweeter than I would normally have. And generally when you're starting out on green smoothies, you probably want to make them a little bit sweeter so that you're enticed to have them and you'll enjoy them more. So I'm going to put in a bit of pear that I've pre-cut, 2 or 3 pieces of apple, and we'll put in a bit more pear. These are good base fruits to use. They're fairly low glycemic, although not massively so. They have enough sugar to actually, or fructose as you call it, natural sugars that can make it both nutritious and tasty. I'm going to use mango, which is of course very tasty. And this is frozen mango from my freezer, organic frozen mango. And that just gives it a good thickness and consistency, but also because it's frozen, it actually cools the whole liquid up, which makes it more pleasant to drink. And then berries. Berries are very low glycemic index. This is probably the best fruit you can have with your smoothies. It's low glycemic index and it's very high in antioxidants. That sometimes makes the green smoothie more of a sort of a ready coloured smoothie. Now, what I also like to do is add what I call superfoods. Superfoods are varied and many. This is the acai berry from South America, and this again is very high in antioxidants, as most of the berries are. So I add a couple of effectively teaspoons, they're small tablespoons. I add chia seed. Chia seed again is very nutritious, quite high in protein, and and we add some of that. It adds it a sort of a, when chia seeds get liquid on them, they get a bit of a soapy texture, and it's said that they're quite good for detoxifying and cleaning the innards of the body. Maca powder, very good for stabilising metabolism, very good for hormonal balance, etc. So we put a bit of that in. And then my personal favourite is mushrooms. This is a blend of 7 different mushrooms. This is an incredible superfood which has amazing medicinal and healing properties. And yeah, we add a bit of that as well. So in terms of superfoods, we've provided a bit of a glossary about what these different superfoods are. As I say, they're very varied. Different people have different views about what superfoods are. Now, what I like to do, particularly when I've added a bit of fruit, or more fruit than I would normally like, is I also add a bit of coconut oil. That has the, what it does is it stabilises the blood sugar. It means that the sugars don't hit your system as quickly, and it's a bit more slow to interact with the body. Very important to make sure that we don't get these massive spikes in blood sugar, which some fruits can tend to do, or fruits, if you're not really used to them, or it doesn't suit your system so much, you want to try and balance that out. Lastly, what we do is we add some water. Probably about a cup of water, but again, you can do it to taste, and just experiment with this and see how it comes out. You can always add more water later if the mixture is too thick. Then we just put the lid on, and we start off on the lowest settings. So always start off on the lowest settings, otherwise it just, you put a lot of strain on your blender. So go down, make sure all the buttons are low, and then we simply just turn it on, and it starts at a low revolution, and then we just turn it up. And that's about it. And then we simply just pour the liquid out into a glass. What like so. You'll see this one is quite thick. Now, depending on how you like it, I like mine quite thick. And what you do when you drink it is try and chew it a little bit as well. Absolutely delicious. You can play around with it, put your own ingredients in. The base is the greens, really rich in chlorophyll, detoxifies, mineralizes, gives your system everything that it needs in a digestible way that you can have plenty of volume. This is Tim Wise for the Inspiration Factory. Enjoy your green smoothies.